Hi, my name is Niyata Singh and I'm doing the analysis of Heathrow Airport Terminal 5. T5 was planned to target 35 million passengers per year. It cost approximately £4.2 billion and spanned across 20 years from the time of conception till completion. It faced many challenges, the first one being the project complexity and vastness. It had a very inconvenient location to be built on. It was located in between two operational runways. It had to demolish an operational water purifier cum sewage plant. A lot of excavation was also required as a result of its location. It involved the system integration of many different submodules because it was a big project. A lot of lessons can be learnt from T5 project, the first one being the benchmark study of all the major projects across the past 15 years. After the study, it came up with a new approach which had a very good risk mechanism. Unlike the traditional risk mechanism where the risk was dumped from the client to the contractors, further down the subcontractors, and was a fixed price based one, the new approach had the client bearing the risk. It was progress driven and not fixed price driven. As in when the project progressed, the money would be paid to the contractors. It was based on the trust of both the parties and was fair enough. They had an integrated project team where the blame was shared across different teams and not just one team, so there was no blame game involved. They had an in-time logistics strategy when only the construction materials that were required at the time of construction would be brought to the site and the ones that were not required would be deported back. They had an offline deployment and testing strategy where only the modules that were tested would be brought to the site and no time would be wasted in testing them on the site. Although the construction side was a success, they had a huge failure when they implemented it. And with the failures, we can also learn a couple of things. Namely, they ignored a lot of small things. For example, because they were so hell-bent on meeting the go-live date, they compromised on testing, which they shouldn't have. They ignored a lot of small things. For example, they tested only the components that were or the terminals that were already tested. They did become quite arrogant because they started giving statements before the launch of their project, which gave a perception among people that they were being too perfect. The strategies or the things that we should keep in mind for the success and failure of any complex project can be divided into three categories. The first one being the structural complexity, that is how vast a project is. For example, a project can be broken into different sub-projects or work streams. The second is the socio-political complexity, that is how well one handles the stakeholders. The third is the emergent complexity, that is how one can detect a change and how well we can handle it. From the case study, all I can say is I have learned that small things can definitely be big things and we can never ignore them. We must also not have a one approach for all the projects because an accident can never be foreseen. We can only learn from the sources and try to not repeat it going forward. Thank you.